They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I say it's a more reliable source of hilarity. So let's grab our Space Boys action figures, fire up Michael Soft Bimbos, and get ready to jump into the most hilarious knockoffs of famous brands that I've found on the internet. Toys and games are the things that encapsulate our childhood. But where there's mimsy, there's mimicry. Can't decide whether to get your kid a Lion King or Star Wars toy? Well, how about that lion thing? This is Chufasa, what looks like a Wookiee painted red. Though I can't deny them the genius of that name. Forget Star Wars and the Lion King, though. Growing up, I remember wanting my mom to get me some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. Man, they looked so cool. Unfortunately for me, she was a tightwad. But hey, it could have been worse. Instead of getting me nothing, she could have gotten me these. These are the Turley Gang, and they look like an unholy mix of He-Man torsos with heads pinched from other, more popular toys. Why are their knees always bent? These knockoff ninjas were released in Germany and surrounding areas during the 90s, when Turtle Mania was raging. And despite the name Turley and his turtle-looking head, this guy is supposed to be a frog. I guess the manufacturers had to say that because He-Man molds didn't have shells on their backs. If you can read the German on the back of the packaging, you'll learn the toy's backstory tells of how 5 friends were transformed into mutant warriors by lava, and now they must fight against evil. Ah yes, lava, that classic transformative substance. Of course, the Turley Gang aren't the only TMNT ripoffs around. Feast your eyes on the Ninja Hero Riders, frogs that wield katanas, wear eye patches, and ride horses. Sure. I mean, I do like the dumbfounded expression on his cute little face, and just look at how his green horse with blonde hair gallops. Bro, get a bigger table. If you watch my videos, the only thing that's gonna get bigger is your brain. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my funny and informative content. Now, speaking of, sometimes online shopping feels like roulette. You never know what you're gonna get. This was particularly true for Thon Son from Hanoi, Vietnam. Hoping to surprise his son, he spent 850,000 Vietnamese dong, about $33, on an Iron Man toy he found online. The ad promised a normal buff superhero just like in the movies. But when the package arrived, Thon ended up with, yikes. Iron Man? More like Iron Deficiency Man. Am I right? Although I will admit the scrawny arms and potbelly combo is a nice touch. If Thon really wanted a robotic superhero, then he should have gotten his son this epic piece of ass. This beefed-up Thomas the Tank Engine apparently comes from Japan, except he's been mechanized into Super Electric Thomas. I don't care if this is a ripoff, it's the most badass toy that has ever existed. For kids who can't handle Super Electric Thomas, you could always get them something a bit more mellow. A Toy Story figurine, or... Holy hell, Woody? His hands are as big as wardrobes. Oh, I forgot this guy isn't from Toy Story, it's from Space Boys. Oh, how silly of me. And who could forget Batman and Super Flyman? This odd duo comes from the Weirdo Toys website. According to the collector, they stumbled across these strange figures at a toy show where the seller claimed these contraband crusaders were originally manufactured in Hong Kong. They were later found in an abandoned New York warehouse where the toys had been left water-damaged from poor storage. Since appearing online, they inspired this piece by artist Thomas Perkins. Now what the heck are those guys fighting? Whatever they are, they're not as terrifying as the next figurine. In all of nerddom, no one is more feared than Darth Trump. What's this guy's catchphrase? I gotta say, I find your lack of faith very strange, very disturbing. Okay, this isn't really a knockoff, more a bit of fun. The Trump figurine comes from Time Bandits, a site run by designer and visual artist Jonathan Stevens, who makes and sells good stuff like watches, comic books, and of course, toys for ages 33 and up. And for those who are feeling a bit more spenny, why not splash out on a Darth Trump Gold Edition?
I love gold, I love diamonds, we all do.
Steven's stuff is sick, but it's expensive. If I didn't spend all my time and money on making YouTube videos, I'd buy some of it. Talking of money woes, what family hasn't had a good squabble over a game of Monopoly? Sorry for the mispronunciation, I meant mo money. Believe it or not, this ripoff is actually unavailable on most online shops. From what I've gathered, it's manufactured by a company called Genius Cells and comes with a calculator instead of physical Mo money, which really angered Amazon user Mommy Dearest. For those not willing to put in the hours of a normal Mo money or Monopoly marathon, there's always the speedier version, Monopoly Deal. Redditor One True Brody tried ordering the card game from Temu and then one from Amazon. See if you can spot the difference. Penny bags must have took a vacation someplace sunny. Now, back in 1983, Nintendo released the Famicom, better known as the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, outside Japan. This revolutionary console could run arcade games at home and became a global sensation, selling more than 2.5 million units by 1984. But with success came imitators, and the NES earned the honor of being one of the most copied consoles of all time, spawning a wave of Famiclones. One such crappy copy came following the fall of the Soviet Union, complete with an adorable, albeit somewhat creepy, elephant mascot, the Dendy. Released in 1992 and produced in Taiwan, this gem was clearly inspired by the NES, which was already 9 years old by then. It even came preloaded with bootlegged Famicom games. The best of the best is absolutely without a doubt Somari, a Sonic the Hedgehog game, except instead of Sonic, the main character is a spinning Mario. I need to play this. Regardless of, or perhaps because of, its bizarreness, the Dendy was beloved throughout Russia. For nearly 30 years, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series has mesmerized kids and adults alike with magical stories, unforgettable characters, and intricately detailed worlds, even if Rowling herself has now gone a bit, Hoping to jump on the bandwagon, some other writers have tried emulating Rowling's works. Nowhere was this truer than in 2000's China, where in 2001, an estimated 30 to 40% of all books on the market were pirated. Among the most memorable counterfeits was Harry Potter and the Golden Armor, which, as you can see, looks a darn sight cooler than the US version. And then there's Harry Potter and Leopard Walk Up to Dragon. Wait, is that the dragon from Sleeping Beauty? And is Harry tackling a centaur? Whatever. The book begins with the immortal line,
Harry doesn't know how long it will take to wash the sticky cream cake off his face.
I'm being transported already. From what I've found, the plot follows Harry as he's transformed into a fat, hairy dwarf. After that, he goes on an adventure with characters both familiar and new in a plot that's a rehash of Tolkien's The Hobbit. You know what? That still sounds better than any of the Fantastic Beasts movies. Over in the US, some products might look like knockoffs, but they can actually be proven as parodies. They're often protected under the First Amendment, bypassing trademark infringement laws. That's why you can get companies like this online fashion store, Dolce & Banana, selling these t-shirts. That's a bit more than evocative. And as far as I know, Dolce & Gabbana haven't sued them yet. Speaking of which, people are willing to splash thousands on designer brands. Take these Speedy 30 bags from Louis Vuitton. Those things can go for over $1,800. Good thing we've got companies like My Other Bag then, who make much cheaper tote bags with drawings of iconic designer handbags. Except Louis Vuitton didn't find the parody funny. In 2016, they took My Other Bag to court, arguing trademark infringement and dilution. The district court disagreed, ruling that the totes were clearly a parody that wasn't likely to confuse customers. But Louis Vuitton wasn't having it. They appealed and lost once more. The court upheld the original ruling, pointing again at the fact that the bag was a parody. The court also said that Louis Vuitton hadn't provided any evidence to prove that a customer could possibly mistake the original Speedy for a tote bag with a picture of a Speedy on it. Poor massive conglomerate. Right now, Louis Vuitton is at home,
crying like a little girl.
If you have a mom, aunt, or gran, you know Facebook is this extraordinary website used for sharing inspirational quotes. Unfortunately for the company, there are a few people that think Facebook is a bit, dare I say, lame. Hey, that's just according to Lamebook, a site that shares screenshots of hilarious Facebook hijinks. Incensed that someone would claim they're uncool, Facebook sent a cease and desist letter to Lamebook's site in Austin, Texas in March 2010. Not only that, in a tantrum-like rage, they shut down any links to Lamebook that were on Facebook and stopped users from liking the company's page. But Lamebook returned with vengeance in November and countersued Facebook. Several lawsuits followed, Facebook's argument being that Lamebook infringed on and diluted their brand, while Lamebook's owners said that their site was a parody. Eventually, in August 2011, both sides finally reached a settlement. Lamebook came out still able to use its name, but must add a disclaimer and cannot seek trademark protection. All's well that ends well. But one company that found itself in the doghouse was VIP Products. Back in 2014, they released a squeaky dog toy styled like a Jack Daniels bottle, renamed Bad Spaniels. Is that for real? Sure is. Instead of the original bottle's 40% alcohol, this one declared itself 43% poo and 100% smelly. Now, while it might seem a hoot to us, it only maddened the whiskey company, who dragged VIP to court. In 2020, the initial ruling went in VIP's favor, with the court agreeing it was an expressive work and a clear parody. But Jack Daniels wouldn't let sleeping dogs lie. The whiskey brand brought the case to the U.S. Supreme Court, arguing the toy tarnished Jack Daniels' name and associated whiskey with excrement. Finally, in 2023, the Supreme Court agreed with Jack Daniels, overruling the earlier decision. Really? It was going to walk out of a store trying to drink from a chew toy. Either way, it was a rough day for VIP. And that's my dog pun quota filled for today. All this talk is making me hungry. I need snacks. Luckily, nothing makes my stomach sing like grabbing a fistful of, Prongles? Who are these porcine pretenders and what have they done with Pringles? These ripoffs first appeared in November 2017 with many customers confused by their blatant copying. Signature flavor of salt and potato and this.
That's right, H-O-G, share your Pringles with me.
'Cause everybody wanna chip and everybody beg for more. Everybody wanna chip and everybody beg for more.
For only $2.99, you can buy them at the store. Getting tickle pink from the salt and potato.
Damn, that song slaps so hard. With a theme like that, it's no surprise that when first released, Prongles were a hit and sold out on their website for $3 a can. However, people noticed that these things were being sold in the cards and games section, not the snacks. Well, it turns out these are made by Cards Against Humanity, those guys who make the controversial card game of the same name. The company released an official statement saying they
retired our popular comedy card game to pursue our real passion, dominating the snack food industry.
Oh, damn. I didn't know they discontinued that game. Oh, no need to worry. The whole thing's just a big publicity stunt. They intentionally created a Pringles ripoff complete with a cartoon mascot straight from the 90s. And if you go on the Prongles website, they promise to bring out 2 new flavors, Whole Fish and America. Sounds meaty. Now, Cards Against Humanity are known for their public trolling. They even marked Black Friday 2016 by raising $100,000 to dig a big hole and streamed it live on YouTube. As for Pringles, there's been no recorded response to Prongles. Maybe they want to try the new flavors too. Sometimes what we believe to be the real deal turns out to be the fake. The Americans amongst us will be well acquainted with M&Ms. Those little balls of chocolatey goodness coated in candy shells. But across the pond, Brits have a similar treat by a different name: Smarties. The two products are nearly identical, so which one's the ripoff? Well, candy company Rowntree's released chocolate beans in 1882, later reinventing them as Smarties in 1937, beating Mars's launch of M&Ms in 1941. Well, looks like M&Ms are the copycat. Now everyone join me in a collective boo. Boo! Okay, that's enough. The story of Smarties and M&Ms actually goes much deeper than that. Both of them were actually predated by small chocolate treats from 19th century Italy and France coated in sugar shell called drage, which meant upper-class women could enjoy chocolates without staining their gloves. Then in 1932, Forrest Mars Sr., the son of Mars founder Frank Mars, and George Harris of Rowntree both found themselves in Spain during the Civil War. Watching soldiers, they noticed how they'd munch on small sugar-coated chocolates that didn't melt in their pockets. The story goes that Forrest and Harris made an agreement on the spot. Forrest would sell a similar product in the US, and Harris would sell them in Europe. Mars made M&Ms, Rowntree made Smarties. Who knew ripoffs had so much history? However, M&Ms have since appeared in British stores. Looks like Mars has reneged the deal. Well, everyone join me in a collective boo. Boo. There's been other ripoffs of the ripoff, too. In Sudan, blogger and photographer Jim Rees found these S&Ms. According to Jim, they taste pretty good, apart from the lack of sugar coating. Oh, I thought anything called S&Ms would be a bit, spicy.
Oh my.
I'm not done with the sweet stuff yet. In Britain, one cake has been a staple of kids' birthday parties since 1990: Colin the Caterpillar. Grocery chain M&S has sold this iconic chocolate cake, along with his female counterpart Connie, for decades, shifting a whopping 5 million of them every year. But M&S has a rival, Aldi. While M&S leans toward the luxury side of shopping, Aldi is all about budget-friendly alternatives, and Colin was no exception. In 2019, Aldi unveiled their own caterpillar cake, Cuthbert, and he bore a striking resemblance to Colin. In April 2021, M&S took Aldi to court, accusing them of copyright infringement. The case took the nation by storm, with headlines beaming with Colin versus Cuthbert. Rather than win the minds of the court, Aldi decided to win over the hearts of the people and launched #FreeCuthbert, a social media campaign to gain support from the British public. Folks even protested outside of M&S stores. After a bitter battle, the companies eventually settled on a secret agreement, with M&S saying they were pleased with the result. I wonder what that means. Soon after, Cuthbert fans rejoiced as the copy caterpillar returned to Aldi's shelves in June 2022, now with a different face. Sadly for M&S, the knockoffs have only multiplied, with nearly every major British store selling their own version of the cake. Colin isn't the only replica Aldi has served up, and they're not the only store in the UK specializing in cheap knockoffs. Both Aldi and Lidl are well known for creating look-alike brands. You need some Doritos tortilla chips? Why not just have tortilla chips? Want some Nescafe coffee? Try Al Cafe coffee instead. Fancy munching on some chocolate penguins? No need. They've got chocolate seals. Jeez, what the heck is going on through these guys' heads?
I'll steal it! No one will ever know!
But how do Aldi and Lidl get away with ripping off other brands so fragrantly? I hear you scream. Well, the UK has much looser copyright laws compared to the rest of Europe, allowing for supermarkets to operate on a legal Wild West. The funny thing is, many name brands and supermarket own brand products are made by the same companies in the same factories. In 2023, there was even a case where name-brand hula hoops turned up in bags of Aldi hula hoops due to factory mix-ups. See, while recipes might differ slightly, the only real difference between these products and their price is the packaging. Take, for example, Nutella, that gooey, chocolatey hazelnut spread. In Aldi, they have their own rather chucklesome version, Nutoka. Man, I love Aldi. And Nutella knockoffs don't stop there. From Turkey, we have the boldly named Nutmaster. Perfect for those who fancy themselves true masters of nuts. And then there's Sweet Nut, or perhaps you'd prefer a nibble on My Nuts. And of course, there's a piece de resistance, Mix Nut Lick. Where are you supposed to apply that? Anyway, in the world of computing, everyone knows the best operating system is Microsoft Windows. What the? This sign has been doing the rounds on the internet since 2007, and no one knows who took it or when it was taken. What we do know is that one of the first photos of this shop appeared on a Japanese blogger site, Alf's Room, in 2001. 2001? In internet history, that's basically Jesus' era. Except in this case, our Messiah is a punny knockoff sign. According to the blog updates, the shop closed down by the end of 2002. After this, in 2007, another picture, the meme we know today, began circulating online. Some netizens have tried to solve this beguiling mystery, and all I can say is thank God for YouTubers. In 2021, Nick Robinson, in his video, The Mystery of Microsoft Windows, went on a journey to uncover the location of this shop. The video is a surprisingly beautiful and existential watch, and definitely worth checking out. Using Google Earth VR and reference images on Yoshinori's blogs, Robinson discovered the exact location, 554-1, Koijibashi, Maebashi, Gunma, Japan. Mysterious ripoff? Solved. Now, fast food may be junk, but it's delicious junk. One of the biggest franchises is KFC. First founded in 1952 by the now iconic Colonel Sanders. But why settle for one American symbol when you can have, can't say I saw that one coming. Yep, this Beijing KFC knockoff, Obama Fried Chicken, is using former U.S. President Barack Obama's face to sell fried chicken. One of the owners, Zhu Boli, even threw in their own tagline, "We so cool, aren't we?" Catchy. However, Bulai did land himself in hot oil when activist Al Sharpton criticized them for playing into racial stereotypes about African Americans. And in 2011, fears that someone could take legal action forced him to change the name. In the end, the fried chicken shop became UFO. Did they change the logo into a spaceship with a tagline into something, "We're out of this world"? No, Bulai kept the Obama logo, but the shop's still called UFO. No one's quite sure why he went with that. Now let's go to, Russia! In 2022, many American brands pulled out of the country for, reasons. One fast food chain not ba-da-ba-ba-ba loving it is McDonald's, who closed down 850 restaurants in the country, leading national companies to fill in the burger void. They began trademark squatting, when companies register trademarks that mimic established ones, hoping to cash in on their reputation. Case in point, Russian businessman Alexander Govor, who bought McDonald's Russian operations and rebranded the restaurants as Tasty and That's It. The menu remains largely the same as McDonald's, and most diners say the food is still just as good. An even more hilarious example of this kind of squatting comes from March of that year, when Uncle Vanya's was trademarked. Just take a look at their logo. Yes, that's just the McDonald's golden arches turned 90 degrees to the right. Yeah, this makes the McDonald's M a B in the Cyrillic alphabet, which represents the V in Vanya. Russia isn't the only country partial to a bit of fast food fakery. Iranian restaurateurs have been busy bootlegging too. Ever since the Iranian Revolution in the late 70s, no American food chain has an outlet in the country. But Despite the government's anti-American sentiments, the people have developed a taste for greasy, cheesy junk. By the 1990s, entrepreneurs became pluckier and began setting up fast food chain knockoffs as a replacement for the real deal. Got a hankering for some Italian baking? Try Pizza Hat. You know what they say.
Who doesn't like hats?
Then there's my personal favorite, Mash Donald's in Tehran. The owner, Hassan Padiav, admitted he originally wanted to call his restaurant McDonald's, but feared the wrath of Iranian hardliners. So he settled on Mash Donald's. Hassan's opened his burger joints in Mashhad and other cities, dishing out not only burgers, but also falafel sandwiches. Sounds delish. Let's nip on over to Dubai, where Adnan Yusuf was sitting in a Starbucks with a few friends when they noticed something funny. The Arabic script used to write Starbucks almost spells Satar Buksh in Urdu. Now, as a joke, Yusuf created a Facebook page for a fictional Satar Buksh coffee shop in July 2012, and within a week, it had racked up over 1,000 followers. The joke got Yusuf and his friends thinking, what if they opened a Satar Buksh cafe for real? So, in 2013, they did, opening in Karachi, Pakistan. And they went for this mustachioed logo. Does anyone else see a slight resemblance? Starbucks definitely did, and just weeks after opening served the cafe a legal notice. Starbucks objected to two things, the name, Satar Buksh, and that logo. But the cafe refused to give up. They argued that the name Satar Buksh had been around for over 500 years, while Starbucks only came into existence in 1971, taking its own name from a Moby Dick character. Who's the wannabe now, huh? As for the overly recognizable logo, the owners didn't have much of a leg to stand on, and promptly changed it to this. Oh good. Satar Buksh has their own happy ending then. Well, the reviews have not been kind. In their now closed Islamabad branch, customers complained about the food, the drinks, the service, and the atmosphere. Apart from that, it was great. In 2019, the Karachi Cafe announced on Insta that they would be taking a short break for renovations. At the time of making this video, that short break is still ongoing with no sign of reopening. Sounds like this knockoff has been bumped off. And that's the final sale of today. What ripoff did you like best? Was there any that you preferred to the original? I don't know about you, but I'm off to buy Harry Potter and the Leopard Walk Up to Dragon. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.